Welcome back to Flagrant and Foul. I'm Jay. That's the Bionic Reject, and we are here to break down the Amazon show, The Terminal List. I had my buddy Karki, some other people telling me to watch it. I like Chris Pratt, but I'm like, you know me, I'm weird about like getting into shows and shit. But I'm not gonna lie, I liked it, and you had me hesitate because you were like, "Hey, they gave it reviews where it was dull," and I was like, "Oh fuck, here we go." But I didn't think it was that dull.
Yeah, fuck no, not at all.
I will say I hate shows that do a lot of hallucinations, but this one wasn't so bad because it actually fit, and he wasn't talking to somebody like they were there the whole time. You know those shows where somebody's hallucinating somebody and they're having fucking conversations, and you're like, okay, I'm fucking done with this. This kind of fit the show.
Yeah, it did. It made more sense because, like you said, it's trying to put you in his shoes where he's reliving these moments and he's like displaced or disassociating, and you don't know if it's from head trauma, PTSD, or whatever the fuck they did to him.
Right. I thought so when they found the tumor in his head. I didn't think it was a tumor at first. I was like, "Oh, they put something in this motherfucker's head
to make like a bomb or some shit."
Yeah, to make him some kind of fucking Jean-Claude Van Damme warrior from that whatever fucking movie that was where he was that bionic fucking warrior or whatever. Like I thought they were trying to make some super soldier type thing.
Like Manchurian Candidate.
Yeah, so the twist was really good that it wasn't just, oh, we put something in there to make him a super soldier. I think I either told you or my buddy Karki, I see Riggins from, I forget his name, the CIA guy who played Riggins on Friday Night Lights, his best friend at the end. I was like, I'm surprised that motherfucker ain't died yet. And then I was really shocked that halfway through they didn't kill that reporter either.
Right.
And when her
Taylor Kitsch is his name.
Okay, when that email got snatched by the fucking Secretary of Defense lady, I thought that bitch was dead. I thought, oh, they're gonna kill this reporter finally.
I think they were going to, and then he came to the compound.
I think they would have let her go if she wouldn't have freaked out on the bitch at the end, though. I think they would have let her go with the real story. So I think the reporter was a little crazy for popping those questions out when there's nothing but military people around you. I'd have just dipped and then wrote my story. Like, fuck that.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. I'm still not quite sure, unless it was just he was remembering wrong, why he saw it differently in the beginning. That still never wrapped my head around why he didn't think it was his guy who freaked out at first.
Did he decide that he did see it wrong?
Yeah, because remember he goes before he punches that fucking admiral in the fucking, or chokes him. He's like, I admitted I was wrong. I remembered that wrong. And then the guy's like, you couldn't protect your family. You couldn't protect your men. And then he fucking lost his mind.
Choked his ass. Yeah.
I definitely don't think we'll see a season 2. I don't think it was made for that. But I like the way it ended. But I love how I liked how it started too, because at first it gets you into it. You're like, oh, this is just like another fucking Clancy type book movie, you know, Tom. But it wasn't at all. It wasn't like that at all. They did a good job of like making you not figure it out. Because like when I was locked up, read a lot of Tom Clancy, you can figure that fucking book out halfway through.
Yeah. So, like you're saying, I think that was what drew me to keep watching it, is because it went from like a psychological thriller to more of a conspiracy, and then back to it, and it was pretty deep for what kind of show it was. For primarily it's an action show,
and they do a great job of showing how he fucking like kind of gets pissed off and loses his mind and changes, because he could have popped the dude who plays Easy on the Mayans, JD Pardo, is that his name? He could have popped him right between the fucking eyes and he left the bullet. But at the end, he's shooting every FBI person in his fucking way.
Yeah. Yeah, he did kind of go off the rails there.
Yeah, because you could tell he didn't want to kill any of them. But I kind of was hoping he'd pop JD Pardo right in the fucking eyes. But that's because I carry weird shit from other shows over, and I'm not liking where his character's going in the Mayan. So that bled over to like, shoot that motherfucker right there.
Yeah, like Jay from Animal Kingdom. I fucking hate him in anything he's in. I want to see him get shot right in the fucking face.
Well, I won't give a spoiler alert and I won't tell you what happens, but if you like seeing bad things happen to that character, check out Peaky Blinders.
Oh, they got him?
I'm not finished with the season 6 yet, but the way I see it going, I think he's in trouble. So
Good. I quit watching that show because all they do is smoke cigarettes.
they do smoke a lot of
They take too much time to it. You know, it's like, okay, you're lighting a cigarette, but they go, mind if I smoke? And then it's just so drawn out, and you got to watch them do like the French exhale and shit. It's like, I don't want to fuck you, dude. Let's get the show going.
It's one of those shows too where I can only watch like 2 or 3 episodes in a row. And I also have to watch it with the captions on because I don't catch some of the stuff they say. And then they'll say it, and I have to Google it. And then I'll be like, oh, it's an Irish term for this. And I'm like, oh, okay, good to know.
Yeah.
And then Maddie, who I do the NFL with, he's from England. So he breaks down some of that fucking slang for me too. When I'm like, what the fuck is this? And then he'll just tell me what it means.
What does he think of that show?
He doesn't watch a ton of TV, but he likes Peaky Blinders. That fucker kind of accidentally gave me a little bit of a spoiler for season 6 by accident.
Oh,
but yeah, he's not big into TV. Like, so right now he's traveling all of Europe, getting teachers ready to go teach in China again, like he used to.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, like he's bouncing around. So the other day he was like, we should record while I'm in Italy. I can do it with the canal behind me. And I was like, you want to do it with anal behind you? Like, because we were texting. And he was like, I think you read that wrong. I said, no, I'm just acting like an 8-year-old right now.
Should know you by now.
Yeah. It's only been 2 years. He should have figured that out, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So when it goes to this show, though, what would you say is your favorite, like, twist or what they did or something like that got you where you were like, oh, fuck?
Yeah, I have to keep watching this, is when you think he's just got PTSD and you don't realize, like, they're in danger, and not just because of what happened to his family. It's when they come for him at the fucking CAT scan and they try to smoke his ass.
That's me.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh, this is real. He's not fucking crazy. Because at first I was like, is he worried this is going to happen to him? And then the fact that the bodies disappeared.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Oh, man.
Did you think he was still nuts for a second? Because I was borderline for a second. Like, did this motherfucker just kill his whole family? Is this where this crazy thing is turning?
Yeah, and they did try pushing that. Like, we can't believe what he's thinking. Yeah, they did make you feel that way.
And then he goes into that NCIS guy's home while he's sleeping, and he's looking for the knife wound on his fucking arm, and it's not there.
Yeah.
But then the guy admits to what he did, and then I'm like, okay. That's when I was convinced, like, oh, this isn't just his fucking losing his mind.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and what I thought was fucking crazy, like, he stays in LA or whatnot. He stays in the same town, it seemed like. After he smoked that fucking cop, he's just holed up in a little hotel or something somewhere.
Yeah, but that's like, bro, like, you're going to fuck. These guys go out, and they're like, yeah, we're FBI agents. Great. He's the head of SEAL Team 7, bro. Like, what the fuck are you going to do? This dude's been in more crazy shit than you will ever imagine.
Yeah. And what'd he get him? He took a golf club at him? Like, you're not going to win that gunfight, dude. And also when you got the leader of that corporation, that private military corporation that had the oil pipeline, I didn't think he'd get that guy. I thought that guy was going to be the main villain.
You mean like the one that he shot coming in his truck outside when he tried to blow him up?
Yeah, and then he smoked his ass on the steps. I thought the guy would survive that, and then he'd have to come back and get him, but he just went right up on the fucking steps out in the open and smoked his ass.
Yeah, and that dude's a douchebag in like every movie he's in. In the Divergent, he was fucking a douchebag. In this, he's a douchebag. He plays a good douchebag. Yeah. Like, so that's kind of his role.
And that's the thing. They tried to put him in the role of Kyle Reese in one of the Terminators with the girl from Game of Thrones. Did you see that one?
Oh, he is in that, isn't he? Now that I didn't
Yeah.
remember it till you said it. Yeah.
And you're just like, I don't give a fuck what happens to this Kyle Reese. Because he's a fucking dirtbag in Divergent. Him and
Yeah,
that fucking Mackay Pfeiffer.
I do that shit. It's really weird. I'll drag shit from another, like feelings from another show over to a show when I'm watching it. So
Mhm.
it sometimes I get rubbed the wrong way by characters you're supposed to like.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
that's
now
and
you
then they
got
get
me.
typecast. They get typecast as a piece of shit after something like that happens too.
Yeah, and they do such a good job at it that like when they go
Mhm.
into another role, it takes you a second to like let's use Miles Teller for an example. So in Divergent, he's a fucking douche too. Then
Yeah.
I watch, and I'm not a fan of remakes, and originals are better, but I watched the remake of Footloose,
Yeah.
and I'm like, dude,
Footloose.
yeah, I'm like, without Miles Teller playing Willard, this movie would
Yeah.
suck. So like Miles Teller, actually, I've watched him in enough stuff where I'm like, he doesn't make me drag that over anymore. So
Yeah.
he's one of the few. Because then when I watched him in the Offer, I didn't have any feelings towards him because of Divergent. So he's one of the rare characters or actors who their characters have like I don't drag that over.
So he played the Chris Penn character in the
Yeah,
remake of Footloose. That's
yes, and
weird. He kind of looks like him.
he saved the fucking movie. To be honest with you,
Yeah. Is it better? Like not
no,
so 80s? Did they
it's
do
not
80s
so
dance?
80s. It's good, but the original to me is still better. But that might be because we grew up on the original. It's Chris Penn. It's fucking
Hmm.
Kevin Bacon. Like
Yeah.
the all the. But I
Did they
I
do the
like
warehouse shit where the character runs through the warehouse dancing?
it's different, but they do it. But they do it different. And then I
Yeah.
think they actually use the same song, but they make it with a modern singer.
Yeah.
And who's the dude that married Gwen Stefani, the country singer? But whatever, he's the one who sings "Footloose" for that movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it's not Kenny Loggins; it's the dude who married.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Shelton. Blake
yeah,
Shelton, I
Blake
think.
Shelton. That's it. Yeah, so he sings the "Footloose" for that one. So it's different. And then like when they play chicken in one of those figure eight bus things, those bus tracks where they take buses
Yeah.
and do figure eights and
Oh,
crash. They do the chicken that way instead of two tractors coming at each other. And
yeah.
then one of the cops from Chicago PD is the douchebag hillbilly in that show.
Really?
Yeah, it's
Which
the
one?
Bruzik from NY or from.
Oh, jeez.
He plays the douchebag who like, don't tell me I'm too high. That guy.
Yeah. Did he
Yeah,
do good? I like that
yeah.
show.
He
I
he
like
makes
that
he
show.
plays a good asshole.
Good. I didn't even know they made that. I might try to watch that.
Oh, they remade Red Dawn and that was fucking awful.
You didn't like it?
I didn't like the remake compared to the original.
I haven't seen the original in a long time.
Yeah, I'm weird. I watch those things back to back. Like I'll watch the new one and then like, let me watch the old one again.
Yeah, I do that. I'll watch the old one before the new one comes out, usually.
Yeah, I find all this shit like on my Fire Stick, and then I just watch it and go, well, let me watch. Oh yeah, well Patrick Swayze was better, so let's go watch that one.
Yeah, and he was.
Well, and he's just Patrick fucking Swayze, right? And then like you
Hmm.
got Charlie Sheen, and that like, and
Yeah.
our age, you got what's her name? Sasha, not Sasha Grey. That's the porn star from Entourage. Jennifer Grey. You got Jennifer Grey and all these famous like she played the chick in fucking Dirty Dancing. So they have the actors we grew up on, those child actors. So that might make
Yeah.
it more nostalgic. But that's what got me to watch Terminal List when you guys told me to watch it was Chris Pratt, the dude
Hmm.
you said his name, I forget Riggins from
Yeah.
Friday Night Lights, like JD Pardo was in it. I'm like, okay, so there's a gang of actors in here that are good. So
Hmm.
even if it's shittily written, it's probably still a decent show.
Yeah.
So what did you think about finding out that fucking Secretary of State bitch was the head of the whole fucking thing though? Because she seemed to be the one who cared and
Yeah. I think, like, I didn't catch it right away at the time, but then they just mentioned it. Like, she showed up and tried to put a lid on it, and she comes in and says, "Who's primarily responsible for this?" And the guy looked kind of scared. When they bring it back up again, you realize like she was trying to hush everybody just through intimidation.
right.
So I thought that was planned out really well.
I
So I
like how
wasn't too surprised, but I thought even like you said, she still tried to rewrite it, like control the narrative. Like, oh, I care, and then the girl fucking busted her ass. The reporter busted her. Like, no, you didn't fucking really care. You're still covering your ass.
and then
And
she
I
ate the
can't.
gun.
Yeah.
I really liked how he got to the admiral.
Oh, with the fucking grenades or the
Yeah,
mine.
and using dude's family, and he was like, "Man, you
Yeah.
want to save your family? You're gonna go take
Yeah.
yourself and dude out." And I was
Hmm.
like, "Oh, that was a good plan."
Yeah, because I mean, at that point, he would have. I think he would have fucking killed his family.
Yeah, I think he might have. Like, you killed his family, so like eye
Hmm.
for an eye, like that kind of thing. Um,
Yeah.
I almost want to see if he would have getting pushed, being that there was a kid there and his moral dilemma, and
Yeah.
his daughter. I almost would like to see if he would have went that far.
Hmm. Because then that would have been too far, and I don't think you can really root for him after that.
Dude, the
You probably
CIA,
want him to get taken down.
his best friend, the CIA dude, doing him dirty though, that fucking
Yeah.
fucked me up.
Hmm. My
And
mom called that from the start. She's like, he's dirty.
see,
Because he was a dirtbag looking motherfucker.
I didn't until the chick goes, "Oh, that's bank accounts to somebody in the CIA," and I was like, "Oh, this
Hmm.
dirty motherfucker right here."
Yep.
But then when he explained it, I kind of got it. Like, you all have brain tumors, you're fucked up, and you were part of the team, and you're like, let them go out as warriors, not in a
Hmm.
fucking bed with brain cancer. And
Yeah.
so you almost feel like he
He
did it for
made the right
a fucked
call.
up thing for the right reason.
Yeah. And he made the decision. It's like, and then he goes, I didn't spend a penny of it. I wonder if, I forget the lead character's name, but Pratt, I wonder if Pratt gets a hold of that money, you know?
I feel like Pratt's gonna die off at the water. I feel like it was ending with him just going off to die. That's
Yeah,
kind
like
of
it would be shortly after he would pass away.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I do think though, if okay, so he says the CIA guy says, "I didn't know about your wife and kids. I swear."
Hmm.
I think if the wife and kid don't die, the Chris Pratt character almost is like, "Okay, I get what you did," but because his
Yeah.
family died, he's like, "But I gotta kill you."
Yeah. He's like, let's do it, man. Let's finish the list. Here I am. It was
I
a
don't
good
think he
ending.
would have killed him though if the family wouldn't have died and he'd have found out why he did it. I think he would have
Oh,
understood
no.
because his family
No.
got taken
Yeah.
out. He's like, "You gotta go."
Yes, I agree. Yep.
Eight
And he
episodes,
knew.
nothing but pretty much action packed from the fucking beginning though.
Hmm. Yeah. And different like, scenarios too. It's not just like a shootout here and there. Sometimes he's being tracked, and he's like you said, when he could have killed those fuckers from where he was. He probably
Yeah.
could have taken most of them out and just dipped.
Well, just having the high ground, he could have sat up there and plucked them off, and they would have never got up to him.
I don't think so.
Like so, I mean, look at what happened to Anakin when he had lost the high ground. Like that shit don't go well.
Did you watch that Obi-Wan series?
No, I was going to check it out. I knew that they were doing it. I completely spaced it, and then like a week ago, I saw a preview for it, and I was like,
Hmm.
"Oh yeah, they brought the Obi-Wan from the movies in. I got to check
Yeah.
this out."
Yeah, it's probably the best thing they've made. Like The Mandalorian is like really cool. I don't know if you've watched any of that.
Yeah, I want
But
now.
as
Is there
far
only
as
2 seasons still of the Mandalorian?
yeah. And
Okay,
then
so I've seen
the
it all.
Mandalorian's in Boba Fett, in the second half of Boba Fett, he's in there and he saved that series. But as far as tying shit into the other movies, that's the best thing they've done.
So you like the Obi-Wan?
Yeah, it's better than the new movies that
Okay,
they
yeah,
like the new
and
trilogy they made.
even as a kid, Obi-Wan was like most people are like Luke, and I was like Obi-Wan because like he was the one who trained Luke. So I was like, you need that Obi-Wan guy.
Yeah. And the fucking Phantom Menace series, like that's better to me than the first three movies, and that was all Obi-Wan.
Is that the
When they
fan?
brought Ewan McGregor in, when Ewan
Oh,
McGregor
yeah,
came back,
okay, yeah.
yeah, that's what I really like about this one is they continue that.
So when it comes to Terminal List, if you had to give it a grade, what would you give it?
On a scale of what?
A, B, C, D, E, F, G. I don't know. F. A to F.
I'd say given what's out now, I'd give it an A. Just based like there's not much like it. The Old Man is a little more martial arts based, so there's really nothing, like Tom Clancy wise. They made that movie last year with Michael B. Jordan, and this was way better.
Whenever I hear Michael B. Jordan right away, I think of The Wire, and then I think of Creed.
Oh, I forget that he was in The Wire.
It's me, yo. It's Wallace, yo. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah, he was young in that one.
Yeah,
just a little kid.
Yeah, he was in Friday Night Lights also, but that's when the show went to shit.
He was?
So the last 2 seasons, Coach Taylor gets fired from Dillon and has to go coach at East Dillon, and Michael B. Jordan's his new quarterback.
Oh.
A fucked up street kid who's in a lot of trouble, on probation, that kind of thing,
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
So Coach Taylor comes back from the college?
Yeah, he actually goes back to Dillon for a year or 2, and then season 4 and 5 or 5 and 6, I don't remember how many they had, but the last 2 seasons he's got to reboot the East Dillon program that doesn't exist anymore, and then in the final season, of course, he wins the state championship and rides off into the fucking.
Of course he does.
The first 2 seasons of that show was good. Then it went fucking downhill of Friday Night Lights. But that's a Pete Berg special right there. He does something great and then tailors it off into something shitty.
Yeah. That's TV.
Yeah, well, that's Pete Berg too. Like, just, like the.
What else does he make?
The movie Friday Night Lights. I don't know if you remember the movie Aspen Extreme with the skiers and so he's got a lot of shit over the history, but he's got a bad habit of ending shit shitty. So I always joke when it comes to books. Stephen King writes great books, ends them shitty. Dean Koontz writes shitty books, but ends them amazing. If Stephen King would just let Dean Koontz end his books, we'd actually have like the best story you could ever fucking get.
There you go.
There is something to be said, though. It's very hard to tie off a story and to end it right. So when they end something good, I'm actually more impressed. So with the Terminal List, the only reason I gave it a B is it's A quality, but it's not an A to me because I will never rewatch it.
Yeah, because there's nothing to build on it when you watch it again.
Right, where there's a lot of shows, like I've watched The Wire 3 times. I've watched Sons a couple times, like this summer I went back through and watched all the Mayans to catch back up. So there's shows that so if I rewatch them, you get an A, but that was a B because I think it was A quality, but I just never watch it again.
Yeah.
So we are going to go through a top 10 list, guys, but before we do, I'm going to send you over to a word from Freezus over at OTH. But make sure you go over to Overtime Hustling and cop the newest magazine because your boy's done some interviews in the magazine. So I interviewed some of the artists. You'll see our full page ad in Overtime Hustling, but Freezus will tell you more about it.
Overtime Hustling.
What's good? It's your homie, Freezus Christ. Y'all know the deal. Make sure y'all head on over to overtimehustling.com where you can catch all the latest merch, all the newest mags, all the media, everything, you know what I mean? And you can also find me on Winging It with the homies Keith G, King Dale, and Payne Gusto. And you can catch me on Turf Tales with the homie SK, as well as Backblocks, you know what I mean? And if you got nothing to do on Sundays, even if you do got something to do, make sure you tap in the Overtime Reactions hosted by the homie Cuzzo. And I cannot forget the homie Jay over there at the Yankee and the Brit channel. So make sure y'all go over there and check them out. And hey, check me out, your boy Freezus, on that Real Talk with Jay. It was a hell of an interview, yo. Gotta do it again. I keep saying it because I mean it. We gotta do it again. I had a great motherfucking time. But anyway, you know who it is. Freezus H, OTH, Yankee and the Brit, Winging It, Turf Tales, Overtime Reactions, Chronicles Podcast. You know the drill, Cush's Corner. It's a motherfucking movement. So move with it. Or move out the motherfucking way. Simple and plain.
Overtime hustling, we hustling overtime.